Khamzat Chimaev has spoken for the first time since his withdrawal from his UFC Saudi Arabia main event bout against Robert Whittaker. Now, a reason has also been given for Chimaev's admission to hospital. Number 10 ranked UFC middleweight contender Khamzat Chimaev has spoken for the very first time since the news of his withdrawal from the UFC Saudi Arabia main event surfaced. In a post on Instagram, Chimaev seemed to remain positive despite UFC President Dana White describing him as violently ill. "We always plan something, but Allah has His own plans for us. Alhamdulilah." As news got out last week that he was out of his fight against Robert Whittaker, it's great to hear from Chimaev. From the pictures of him in hospital as well as the words from Dana White, it seemed that he was in a bad way, and was extremely ill in hospital. Illness has been an unfortunate theme of Chimaev's career over the last few years, and it continues to be his biggest issue. In 2020, when Chimaev made his UFC debut, he had his first 2 bouts within 10 days of each other, but since, has only fought 3 times in the past 3 years. The main reason behind Chimaev's inactivity hasn't been due to typical MMA training injuries such as knee, hand or shoulder issues. Instead, it has been down to Chimaev getting seriously ill multiple times in preparation for fights. The health issues for Chimaev started back in late 2020 when he contracted coronavirus in the lead up to his booked fight against current UFC welterweight champion Leon Edwards. The virus left Chimaev with many lingering symptoms which led to the cancellation of the Whittaker fight, as well as several hospitalizations. It now seems that Boers has unfortunately not been able to stay healthy, and as a result, it has heavily hindered his fighting career. We now finally have a reason and details behind Khamzat Chimaev's admission to the hospital. Chimaev's fellow Chechen fighter, Abdulaziz Abdulvakabov, speaking to Russian media outlet, Ushateka, has explained Chimaev's withdrawal from his UFC Saudi Arabia main event. "Food poisoning is always dangerous, excepting a fight with food poisoning. He knew his state, knew that he wouldn't be able to fight. That's why he called it off. Food poisoning is not good and can turn into something very serious if not dealt with quickly, but it is good to know that Chimaev has not been diagnosed or has contracted a very serious illness, and it looks like he will make a full recovery and he will be just fine." Whittaker now fights Ikram Aliskerov in the main event of ESPN's Fight Night show broadcast from the ABC ESPN Plus from 12 p.m.